Hi sweet friends, good morning and welcome back. If you're new here, hi, my name is Amy and welcome. Today we'll be doing some fall decorating in my daughter Elena's bedroom, and I also want to share with you a new vacuum that I just picked up. I want to try that out and see how it works. And I also have been looking for some really cozy fall dinner and dessert recipes, and I found a couple on Pinterest. So for dinner, we'll be making a ground turkey sweet potato skillet. And then to follow up, for dessert, we're going to be making Mom's easy apple pie. So if you enjoy these really casual day in the life type videos, go ahead and hit that like button for me and also consider subscribing. And so let's go ahead and get today started. So here is the new vacuum. It is a canister, but it is bagless, and it is a Kenmore. I loved my other Kenmore canister. Now I do absolutely love my Tyneco vacuum. It is so lightweight and convenient, but I'm a little weird. I like to dust with my vacuum, and so it has these two attachments here. It has the duster and then also the crevice tool, which I use a ton, and the Tyneco just doesn't do that great on surfaces. It does a great job for flooring as well as hardwood, and it's super quiet. So if you're looking for a cordless vacuum, I highly suggest the Tyneco, and so I'm giving this one a try. I've used it a couple of times already and I'm already loving it. The only thing I have found is when you are vacuuming and you're lifting up high to maybe clean around your window frames or doorways, this will rock backward, but then it's easy to pull forward too. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. This just releases off. It does have a HEPA filter, as you can see there, and you just will click that button here and that will empty out everything. It's pretty large container for all your dirt, and so far so good. I really like it. Has a HEPA filter. They say to just take that out and rinse it under water. It's very lightweight. It's under 25 pounds. I think they said it was 22. And of course, this isn't sponsored or anything like that. This is just something that I wanted and have been wanting.
Now we can move on to some cleaning with the new vacuum. And let me remind you, Elena typically keeps up her room, but she hasn't gotten to vacuuming for a couple weeks. So please, no judgment. There is tons of dog hair, but that should help us to see how well this vacuum really works.
Now that it's nice and clean, we can start adding some fall decor. So I'll probably start with the top shelf and work my way down.
Now here I'm just going to create a simple little arrangement to look like flowers are spilling out of this bucket that came from Grove Collaborative. Now most of this decor that I'm placing in her room is just leftover fall decor that I didn't use. And I thought it would just be super fun to decorate her room and make it nice and festive for her. So with this, I'm just adding in some Spanish moss, lots of greenery that I had left over, and then I'm popping in some yellow, kind of they look like mums to me, to just brighten up and add just a cheery little fall element to her room.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane, and as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy we go, easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand, as willows align.
All right, so now that I've finished up all of the cleaning and decorating here on her shelves, I love how they turned out. I'm gonna go ahead and work on cleaning down her upholstery here on her headboard. And what I love to use, and really what I love about the Kenmore, is that it comes with this little attachment here that is a pet power mate, and it is great for getting hair, especially like dog hair, which she has Nyla in here all the time. And so I'm gonna run it on here as well as just on top of her mattress cover. I didn't wash that today, and so it has just a little bit of dog hair on it, not much, but I love to use that. And then we'll work on that, and then we can make the bed and just keep moving on.
Dreamy, breezy we go, easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all. Dreamy, breezy we go, easy, easy on our tiptoes.
We'll go ahead and get the bed made, but the duvet cover is still in the wash, so we'll get that on a little bit later. We'll move over here to her nightstand, and I definitely don't want to add a ton of decor because it'll just get cluttered along with all the little things that she tends to put here. So I'm just going to keep with the rule of threes and just add like a flower arrangement, her gold box that she can keep some of her items tucked away and hidden in there, and then this cute little pumpkin that says Hello Fall, which came from Joann Fabrics last year. Now it's time to move over to this little nook area in her room where she plays her guitar and her ukulele. But here on the wall, just adjacent to that, we have this small DIY shelf that I made from Dollar Tree items. And here I like to display decor, much like what I would display on a tiered tray. So how is the weather in your area? I'd love to hear. Today and in this past weekend, the weather here has been absolutely gorgeous. The temps have been in the low 70s and the leaves are starting to change. This past Sunday, we enjoyed a church picnic that followed our church service, and we've been loving our sermon series titled Essentials, A Journey Through Romans. If you'd like to join in, I'll go ahead and link that down below for you. So today, I'd like to share with you one of my favorite verses from Romans, which is Romans 12:2, and it states, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will." Now that I've added all these beautiful decor pieces to the surfaces of her room, it's back to finishing up the cleaning. And one of the reasons I love the Kenmore canister vacuum is that it has this extendable wand that you can put your dust attachment on it and run in the corners as well as along the ceilings to remove any of those pesky cobwebs or dust bunnies.
My shoulders as long as I'm able, scare the monsters under your bed. Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need until my heart.
Now we can add back her duvet and dress her bed for fall, adding beautiful pillows that are going to just tie the whole room together. So here is how Elena, my daughter's room, turned out, all decorated for fall. I really think it looks really nice and festive, and I didn't go out and buy anything new. This was all decor that I had left over. I hope that I gave you some new and exciting different ways to decorate maybe your bedroom or even your child's room. I love the pops of yellow and the orange, and I just added minimal amount of these splashes across the room to just tie in those color themes throughout. I didn't add a ton of decor, and I just think it turned out perfectly. I can't wait to see what she thinks of it. Now this area I did keep pretty plain. I just added a pop of yellow with a pillow and then a terracotta pot with more of those yellow flowers to just tie in more of that pop of yellow. So definitely let me know down in the comments what you thought and if you like how it turned out. Make sure to not click out just yet. We have dinner and dessert still to come. Now we're going to move on to making dinner and dessert. For dinner, we're going to make the ground turkey sweet potato skillet. And then for dessert, we're making Mom's Easy apple pie. Because life's so short, we're going to go ahead and start with dessert. And two, because it recommends that the pie set for at least 2 hours before slicing and serving. So first, you're going to take 6 to 8 medium-sized apples. Of course, you're going to peel that and then slice them. The apples that I'm using, we actually went to my parents this past weekend and they have an apple tree that was super abundant, so I'm using those apples. Now, the recipe does recommend using maybe a tart apple, but any apple that you have on hand will be perfect for this recipe. Keep in mind when you're slicing your apples into chunks, try to keep those chunks at least under 1 inch so that when it's cooking, it cooks them thoroughly and uniformly so you don't have any tough, chewy pieces of apple throughout your apple pie. So after you've did this, this is going to be about 6 cups of apples. Now we can move on to preheating our oven to 425 degrees. Now you'll want to go ahead and get your pie crust ready. So you're going to unroll one pie crust and press that into a 9-inch glass pie plate. And then you're going to cover that and chill that for about 10 to 15 minutes while you prepare the filling. This little tip will give you a delicious flaky crust. Now, in a large bowl, you're going to toss together all the filling ingredients. Now we're going to grab that cold pastry from the fridge and then transfer the filling to the pie plate. And as you notice, this is going to provide you with a heaping amount of apples, which is great because as you cook it, the apples are going to reduce in size, and that's going to leave you with a really nice full apple pie. Now we're going to grab a second pie crust for the top, and we're going to place that on the top of the apples, unroll that, and then you're just going to tuck that upper crust into the bottom crust, making sure to kind of pinch the edges so that it makes a good, nice seal. The last step before we add it to the oven is to cut slits on the top to allow the steam to vent. You want to bake your apple pie for 40 to 45 minutes or until the apples are nice and tender. But a tip, about halfway through the baking time, go ahead and cover the whole pie with some aluminum foil to prevent the edges from becoming too dark. Now that your total cooking time is up, you'll want to remove your apple pie to cool onto a wired rack for at least 2 hours before slicing and devouring your dessert. So while that cools, we can work on dinner, which is a ground turkey sweet potato skillet. So first, we'll go ahead and wash and scrub 2 to 3 sweet potatoes, and we're going to pierce the skin using a fork about 6 to 8 times. Then we'll pop that into our microwave oven for about 5 minutes. So here is all the spices that are going to be included in this dish. So we'll go ahead and measure out all the seasonings into a small bowl and have that ready while the sweet potatoes continue cooking in the microwave. You'll want to flip and microwave your sweet potatoes for another 2 to 5 minutes, and you definitely want to keep an eye on this. You want the sweet potato to just be tender enough to slide your fork easily down the center. Now, the recipe doesn't call for an onion, but I thought I would add 1 chopped onion. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and rinse and drain 1 can of black beans. Now we can head back over to the stovetop and heat about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then you're going to add your ground turkey, crumble that up and let it cook for about 5 to 7 minutes. Now that the sweet potatoes have been cooling slightly, you can go ahead and cut the ends off, then slice them down the center. Be careful, they could still be a little bit hot. And then you're just going to remove the skin, leaving that sweet potato goodness. Now, as you can see, mine are a little bit too done. I shouldn't have left them for quite that long. So when I do slice and cut them up, I keep the slices a little bit bigger so that I don't create a sweet potato mash rather than sweet potato cubes. Now that your ground turkey is cooked mostly through, you can drain off any accumulated liquid if needed and add in your seasoning. Then you're going to combine your black beans, onions, and sweet potatoes. Cook for another 2 to 3 minutes or until fully cooked. The last step is to add some cheesy goodness, cover the skillet, and allow the cheese to melt for 3 to 4 minutes.
I was afraid it was going to be too hot, but it's not. At least that bite one. Because the cayenne pepper is optional, which I didn't read until the end. But it's got a little kick, but not bad at all. So I think it's a good one. I'm not sure if Elena's going to like it because she's not a huge fan of sweet potato, but we shall see. So what do you think of it?
It's good.
And what about the sweet potato?
Not bad.
Not bad. It's like on a scale.
7.
Okay, well, at least you're honest. All right, time for dinner.
That'll do it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe. I hope to see you back for my next one. Take care and God bless, friends. Bye.